Hey guys, welcome back. Mary here, and right now we're going to be watching A Place Further in the Universe, Episode 5. So, I've been enjoying this series so far. It is a sort of genre that I really like. I like to watch the cute girls doing cute things genre, and especially more so if it actually touches on some subjects that I don't know about, and I can learn some knowledge from it, right? And so I really enjoyed last episode where they actually went through a lot of the training and stuff to sort of prepare themselves for their Antarctica journey, which I do hope that they can do a little bit more, right? Although we are getting about to the halfway point of the series so far, which I would gather it would be about time when they actually set out, right? More specifically, I do want them to have more hands-on training, either in more Arctic conditions or perhaps with some actual equipment, right? But we'll see if that proves to be true. We also got the story there. Honestly, I'm not that concerned about it, honestly, but we'll get there when we get there, right? So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. Alright, they're gonna prove their haters wrong. She's just like, I'm going. And then run down there and be like, what? Alright, how's this situation gonna play out? She wants to be relied on. So she's afraid that Mari, growing up, is not going to need her anymore, and she feels a little bit lonely because of this. I mean, since this is a more wholesome kind of anime, I'm assuming they're not going to go the route of, her getting really emotional and going like, "You should just rely on me" and all that kind of stuff. I doubt it's going to get to that kind of situation, right? I could be completely proven wrong, but this is a very light-hearted anime so far. Mm-hmm. And actually, one thing I forgot to mention last episode is this watching this series really makes me want to, watch a lot more of cute girls doing cute things kind of stuff. One thing that actually is in my backlog is Yuru Camp, which is a sort of similar concept except it's for camping, right? That might be on my next two. Well, it's already on my plan to watch list, but that might be next up after this finishes, since it's in the general vein of this sort of genre. Right. Hey, that was a good topic to get through the opening. There, my. Oh, by the way, I actually found out that this ship does exist, right? The actual ship exists. It's also called the Shirakazu. Alright, they're filming the show. That's a very old school style of scene transitioning. Mostly used during the Showa era, actually. And it's still used sparingly nowadays in some entertainment shows, just for laughs and giggles. So basically, you jump here, and then when you start filming the scene in your next scene, you jump again, and then you land. So playing some tongue twisters, so to loosen your mouth. So I guess by the end of this episode, they're going to be boarding the plane. Oh damn! Really, 3 months. That's so I wasn't wrong looking at the actual schedule. But what can they actually do while they're like if for actual? I mean, sure they can be helping hands, but actual research still needs to be carried out by the actual researchers. For a high schooler, 42 kilograms isn't too far off. Wait, she's 69? That is ridiculous. Even I don't weigh 69 kilograms. Oh, or was she actually weighing the box? I'm gonna have to go rewatch that. Maybe, maybe I looked at that part wrong. You can check the web. Don't tell me you're taking a PlayStation there. Well, that might be a nice idea, actually. Oh, she's returning it to her. It's not going to. This is a PlayStation 2, right? I think? I'm not a big console gamer. I actually don't. The only console I own is a SNES. I'm more of a PC gamer. Just gonna pull the plug. So did you purposely do that? Hmm. Interesting room. Hmm. Nice. Setting off. Hmm. Are you feeling lonely? You're thinking? Oh, okay. She really is the mature one of the group. Acting like it's a beer. Hmm. Well, that's nice. Making her feel part of it. It's probably going to dissolve her worries. Yeah, she hasn't changed. Really? I thought you would be like, why wasn't I there? Mm. Like I said, it's more of a wholesome anime. So the situation resolves itself. Mm. A farewell dinner. Oh, look at that pudding. Just go. Mm. 3-month trip. Aww. You know, the emotional part of me, the sentimental part of me also thinks this is really touching. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, even though it's only 5 episodes, I do feel this is kind of touching. The logical side of me, though, is like, come on, it's only 3 months. If that makes any sense for you guys. Hmm? Oh, so you. Mm. Hmm. Are they going to resolve it before she actually leaves? Like, I don't care. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, of course. Good job, Kimai. Hey, there we go. Or are we actually going to get a different? Ah, no. Alright. See you guys after this. Alrighty, so at the very end there, after the ending, we see about 10 seconds preview. I believe they're in Singapore right now. I kind of forgot the original plan, whether they need to make a stopover at Singapore or not. I think they just need to go directly to Australia, right? So, not really sure why they're stopping there, but perhaps for some further training or maybe to meet some other people. Don't really know, but just something to mention for the very end there, right? So let's talk about this episode. And obviously, I feel like there's two big emotional points for this episode. One would be leaving home, and then the other would be the situation with Megami. So let's talk about the easier one first, which is leaving home. And honestly, out of the two sort of scenarios or two events that happened this episode, I actually got a bit more emotional towards the leaving home part. And the reason for this is I feel like it's a very realistic depiction of what it feels like to leave home in this sort of situation, right? You got the person who's actually leaving, it's she's ecstatic for this new adventure, new journey. She's pumped up. She's not. I like that they didn't make her cry, right? Because, and honestly, if she did cry, I feel like it might have been a little bit over the top. But I mean, for example, for me personally, and for maybe a lot of people as well, graduating from high school would probably be the first time when you really leave your home, right? You're attending college. If you're in the West, typically it's in another city or another state or something. In my country, I traveled to another city as well in order to pursue my education, and so that's when I really left my family, right? And it's sort of like the similar dynamic. The people left behind, they're getting sentimental, they're crying, your parents and whatnot. If you have siblings, they might also get emotional. But you yourself, you're just very excited to finally leave home for the first time, right? So I did like the entire depiction there, and I feel like it was really accurate, and that helped me really emphasize with the scene a lot more, right? And I felt it was just a scene very well done, even though. And credit to the anime, right? We're 5 episodes in. Really, we haven't even seen their family or their, their sort of interactions with each other for all that much. But it still made me feel, you know, getting a bit sentimental over the scene. So, props to the anime for being able to do that. And for the second part, the big, and probably for most people, the more emotional part would be Megumi's situation, right? Now, honestly, I would say I wasn't that affected by it. I was thinking there was something wrong between them, more specifically on Megumi's side, since episode 2, I believe. It was fairly obvious she felt off, and she was in discomfort. She was uncomfortable with this current situation where Kimari was going off with these other 3 new friends and going off to Antarctica with this new goal or whatnot. Now, I did make the sort of statement at the beginning where I didn't feel like it was going to go that bit of a dark side or a deeper side, right? So in the end, they actually did go a little bit deeper than I expected. It wasn't just a case of simple jealousy or loneliness due to Kimari finding some new friends, but really a sort of twisted way of wanting to control Kimari, wanting to be always the the confident that she confides in, and is always basically being overbearing toward her, right? You can even say, to use a more derogative term, Megumi was gaslighting Kimari to a certain extent, right? Even though maybe not to that point, but it is actually an abuse in some sort of way, right? Even though nobody's really hurt, it's still in some ways abuse. So and I like that. Even though to me it seemed fairly obvious from episode 2 and on that there was this kind of situation revolving her, I did like how within this episode they tried to use a lot more different ways to hint even more so that this was the case, right? Including the scene in the park with the close-up of her face, the sort of contrast between Megumi and Kimari and all that stuff. That was indeed a nice touch as well, right? So, I mean, I wasn't surprised, so that's probably also why I didn't really feel much for that scene. And I mean, in the end, she sufficiently explained that she finally learned what she was actually feeling, and so I guess she decided to confess up because she was ashamed and she felt that she herself was not worthy to be Kimari's friend, right? Now, in her defense, this is the first step towards rehab, right? And towards rebuilding their relationship. Accepting that you have a problem is the first step towards fixing the problem. And so she did so, and props to Kimari as well. She basically did the correct thing here, right? Which is to reject Megumi's proposal that they weren't friends anymore. And this sort of ties into the part at the beginning again where I say I feel like this series is still more on the wholesome side of things. So even though they went a bit darker, a bit deeper in terms of the the psychological stuff of Megumi, still at the very end there they resolved the situation before Kimari left, right? Or sort of resolved. At the very least, Kimari's answer basically told her, hey, it's okay, I forgive you, let's still be friends, right? And so that in essence really solves 90% of the problem, right? The rest can be done once she gets back. And so, not leaving this sort of cloud over both of them before she actually leaves for 3 months to Antarctica, that is the wholesome way to end this plot point, right? So it shouldn't become a plot point in the future. It should be resolved, let's just say. So yeah, so in the end, I still feel wholesome about the entire thing, right? And yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to say for this episode. I'm still, really impressed with this, really enjoying it so far. What else? I guess not really much. They did make a few different kinds of references. I already explained them in the actual reaction part and whatnot. So, I'm not gonna repeat that over here. The rest, I actually think, this is very trivial, but I think I called that that console a PlayStation 2. It should be a PlayStation 1. Sorry. I had to go look this up because, like I said, I'm not exactly a big console fan, so I kind of messed up there. And so with this ending, it also answers the question. So Megumi did actually deliberately, pull the plug on Tamari playing her game, right? Because she couldn't stand to see her doing so well on this. So yeah, but no need to hate Megumi. They've patched up, they've made up, and they're probably going to have a much more genuine and much more healthy relationship going forward. And so yeah, that's about it for this episode. Don't really know what they're going to do for our next one. What are they doing in Singapore? I mean, I assume it's Singapore. You see the very famous sort of statue there. Yeah, don't really know, but looking forward to finding out, right? So anyways, that was episode 5 of A Place Further Than the Universe. I will see you guys next time. This is Maverick, signing off.